You're not worried about it not working out, are you?
I don't know. We're stuck in this battle. Is our relationship gonna grow, or is it just gonna remain the way it is and just be unhappy?
Uh-oh, that doesn't exactly sound too promising, does it?
I don't know how much more I could take.
Josh and Lily's relationship constantly seems to be balancing on a knife edge, but maybe his brother coming to visit them in China might provide a welcome break from all of their arguments. Or perhaps it might not.
You always create arguments. You sabotage our relationship.
Thank you for ruining Jarod's night tonight, sweetie.
Yikes! I think we all felt the horror that Jarod's face was showing in that moment. Talk about being awkward. Yeah, this definitely wasn't the way that anyone planned for his visit to go. But before we get into that, let's rewind to the start. So the last time we saw Josh and Lily, they were having fun at a dance class, and it actually felt like they were making progress. And when we join them in this episode, the pair are getting ready for a special arrival.
My brother Jarod, he's arriving today, and he's gonna enjoy some time with us before the wedding ceremony.
Hey!
Oh, goodness!
Josh's brother has come all the way from the States to be there for their wedding ceremony. Now, considering the fact that Josh and Lily are actually already legally married, you've got to say that is quite the effort from Jarod. I mean, he's clearly come to support them both, and I do mean both of them. You see, as Lily explains, she and Jarod actually have quite a special relationship.
跟价值争吵争论的时候呢，我会给他发信息，他会回复我，他会告诉我怎么去做。我觉得他给我的一些小小的帮助。
Having some kind of referee there help them to figure out their issues might be exactly what these two are looking for. But you've got to say, if poor Jarod was hoping for a relaxing vacation, then this definitely isn't gonna be it. Now, as Jarod is given a tour of their house, it's safe to say that he's blown away. He can't quite believe that this is now his brother's life. Josh has hit the jackpot, he tells us.
Josh has found a secret recipe, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a dozen guys out there, if not hundreds, who would love to have somebody take me away, bring me to their house.
He better not let his brother hear him talk like that. We all know just how touchy Josh can be about their financial situation. He hates the fact that it's Lily who paid for the house and is paying for all of their bills. So hearing his brother emphasise that point might not go down too well. But just like Lily, Josh also believes that having his brother there might help them.
My brother sits back and watches me in every relationship I have. He sees my mistakes, and he tells me about them.
Look, it's immediately obvious that Josh loves and trusts his brother. He knows his brother isn't going to sugarcoat things. If there's something he doesn't agree with him on, he'll let him know in the way that only brothers can. But the problem is, it really does feel like there's a lot of pressure on Jarod for this visit. Like, it really feels like Josh expects his brother to come in and right away have a big picture overview of exactly what's going on with him and his wife.
He may be able to explain things to Lily that I can't, and Jarod may open my eyes to Lily's views that I don't see.
Yeah, like I say, that's a lot of pressure, but at least Jarod seems to know his role, right? He's come fully prepared to play the role of therapist and mediator. So after immediately putting poor Jarod to work by making him help with carrying a mattress upstairs, the two brothers sit down to catch up. So how's it all been going? Asks Jarod, to which Josh responds by saying they've been having quite a lot of arguments. It's always the same arguments, he says. We always argue about the same things. It's always about money. She knows that's a sensitive topic for me, he says.
When she keeps saying it, it does hurt. I reply back saying, well, if you were in love with me, you wouldn't say it, which in turn hurts her. It's been that way. It's been a cycle.
Now, while this might be true, it is also very one-sided. Both Josh and Lily know exactly what the other's trigger points are. They know exactly what buttons to press to get a reaction. And the fact that they keep pressing those buttons isn't exactly a good sign. Now, in an attempt to try and fully figure out what's going on, Jarod asks Josh if he knows why Lily acts like this. To which Josh actually admits that it might just be down to the way that Lily communicates. And hearing that, Jarod tries to almost diffuse the situation. You should both cut yourselves some slack, he says.
Well, dude, I mean, you guys gotta be overwhelmed. This has to be stressful for her, it has to be stressful for you. This is not a normal pathway to any relationship.
He really is trying to be fair to both of them. Like, I can definitely see why they both seem to trust him so much. He genuinely seems to want to help, and he reminds Josh that they have both faced a lot. Remember, he tells Josh, you guys got married and then were forced to live apart for 8 months. This is just a normal adaptation period, he tries to reassure him. And while it's fair to say that Jarod isn't exactly shocked that Lily and Josh are already having marital problems, what does seem to surprise him, pleasantly surprise him, is how Josh has been handling them.
I think what's new is the way he's reacting to those arguments in previous relationships. When the going gets tough, sometimes Josh would get going in the past.
So, for the first time ever, Josh is actually willing to stick around and figure things out. And Jarod wants to help with that. As he explains, both he and his parents really want this to work out for him. They don't want to watch him go through another divorce. But, unfortunately, divorce might already be on Josh's mind.
You're not worried about it not working out, are you?
I don't know. We're stuck in this battle. Is our relationship going to grow, or is it just going to remain the way it is and just be unhappy?
Look, here's the thing, right? There's no way that they can grow if they don't stop fighting about the same old stuff. At this point, by constantly bringing it back up, it's as if they're deliberately trying to hurt each other. Yeah, fingers crossed that Jarod has the answer to their problems. Now, when we join them later on that evening, they're on their way to a night market to get some Chinese food, and Lily explains exactly what they can expect.
Like street food?
Chinese snake? No snake. Snack.
There's a big difference.
For a moment there, Jarod was very worried. Thankfully, trying Chinese snacks sounds a lot more palatable. Now, on the way to the market, Lily wants to know a few things. She starts by asking if Josh and Jarod's parents are worried about his big move to China. And Jarod is honest. He explains that, yes, they do have some fears, but the fact that he's here, the fact that he can report back to them with what he's seen, should help to settle those fears. But no sooner does he finish answering her question than Lily says this.
Do you think Lily loves Josh?
Yes.
Wow, no messing around. She's gone straight for the big questions. Now, while Jarod tells her what I think she wants to hear, while he says that he does see the love, you've got to say he does look a little bit apprehensive. And rightly so, because, as it turns out, this is a bit of a trick question from Lily. Why's she asked this? Well, Jarod's answer has teed her up perfectly to now go on and explain that Josh doesn't always believe that she loves him. Yeah, things have suddenly gone from deep to a whole lot deeper. This isn't the normal night one in a car small talk that you might expect. I mean, Lily's timing here doesn't exactly seem great, but she does have her reasons for bringing this up.
Last night
But why?
we fight.
First night taking my brother out to China. This is how you want to talk about it?
Lily says that she wants to ask his family for help fixing their problems. Now, perhaps this is a cultural thing. She definitely seems a lot more comfortable with this than Josh does. But whether that is indeed the case or not, whether it really is a cultural thing or maybe it's just Lily, what's abundantly clear is that Josh really isn't comfortable with this. He'd much rather have kept tonight nice and light. Maybe let Jarod relax a little. Maybe don't burden him with their marital problems on night one. And judging by the look on Jarod's face, he also looks super uncomfortable. But if he thinks that this is awkward now, well, it's about to get a whole lot worse. You see, it's at this point that Lily starts to tell him about the fight they had last night.
Let me tell you, last night we go to dinner, but Jarod always message, always text.
There I am sitting at the dinner table, she says, and all Josh is doing is texting away on his phone. So I asked him who he was texting, she says. But Josh got offended. He dramatically put his phone away. Now, Josh disputes this. He says it was important. He was texting his family. But after I put my phone away, he says, Lily refused to speak to me. And that is when it blew up completely.
And then she gets up from the table and leaves. 15 minutes goes by. I found out she's in the car. She left the restaurant. You know, it's not normal behavior.
Now, not for the first time today, Jarod tries to diffuse the situation. He tries to see things from Lily's side as well. Maybe she was just upset, he says. But Josh is having none of it. Everything upsets Lily, he says. And right on cue, but totally understandably, Lily is upset with what Josh has just said. She really doesn't like being portrayed in that way. So she tries to explain why it is that she walked out.
Because yesterday dinner, 500.
I know you love telling me how much money you spent.
不是, no.
That's all you talk about, money.
I think what Lily was trying to say is that dinner was expensive and they didn't even get to enjoy it. But what with her English not being great and what with Josh being so sensitive to the very mention of anything money related, he's now escalated this situation even further. Now, he begins to talk to her in a super condescending tone. All you ever talk about is money, 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 he says. But Lily stops him in his tracks. If that were really the case, she says, why would I have married you? You were broke when I married you. Why would I have chosen you if I only cared about money, Josh?
Yes, when we first meet, but I'm still married with you. I told you I don't care money.
Lily just can't understand why money is such a big trigger for Josh. She doesn't seem to understand that he feels emasculated not being able to pay his way. And I think that's the problem with these two. They both seem to lack empathy. They don't see the other person's perspective. Like, just take what Josh says next. His condescending summary of everything that's wrong with Lily is precisely why their marriage is already on the rocks.
The problem, Lily, is I'm not like you. I don't try living in the past and creating fights or sabotaging a relationship.
This comes across as very patronising, very condescending, and also very hypocritical from Josh. Like, let's not forget, just hours earlier, Josh was also talking to his brother about the fights they've had in the past. So he's not exactly moving ahead, living each day in the present either, is he? It's really frustrating, and right now, the biggest victim here isn't Josh or Lily, it's poor Jarod awkwardly sitting in the back.
But I do thank you for ruining Jarod's night tonight, sweetie.
I'm with you, Jarod. His face says it all, doesn't it? His expressions were the best part of this entire car ride. But I've got to say, the way that Josh is talking to Lily is too much. He has this really condescending, passive-aggressive tone to him. He's speaking to her like she's an idiot. And something tells me if these fights continue, Josh and Jarod might both be on the same plane home together.